Fan, short for fanatic, is the one who's screaming their lungs out in sub-0 degree temperatures, still believing when the chips are down, and never, ever giving up on their teams or their players. From the closest seat to the worst one, we want to meet you all. This is the American Fan.
What's going on, sports fans? It's your boy Josh Williams back again with another episode of the American Fan 365 podcast. I am, of course, joined by the front row, Miss Rosine Frangie. Ro, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. We had a fun weekend.
We did. It was an eventful weekend, too. A lot going on, definitely.
A lot going on. I mean, in addition to everything in the sports world, we had a great time on Friday night at the Flanker VIP opening. It was a blast, right?
George, where was George?
On Friday?
Or Saturday, George?
Dude, I just buried myself in my house this weekend. Hey, can you blame me?
We'll let it slide this time, George.
Oh, what I was doing, I was cutting a sick little promo video.
You did.
You did. There we go.
Yeah,
you know I'm always thinking about you guys.
Yeah, you
Never
are.
stops.
Josh, did you have fun on Friday?
Listen, Flanker was great. Jamal had his watch party for UFC 289 on Saturday.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to be in the house very long on Friday because what did I have going on Friday? I had to
You
leave.
went and watched Seinfeld and just
that's right. I went to Jerry Seinfeld on Friday.
And just so for everybody that doesn't know, Flanker LV is an amazing sports bar and grill that opened up at Mandalay Bay. The operator is actually my old boss from a very long time ago, but they did a phenomenal job. You guys follow them at Flanker LV on IG. They're awesome. But I had a great time.
Really good time. The food was really good there. On Saturday, they had first off, the place is wall-to-wall TVs.
Yes.
So when they actually wanted to really highlight the fights and then also the Golden Knights winning on Saturday as well, it was TVs everywhere. Really good service. I had a great time. It was really good. Really good. And also had some private rooms too. Had the private rooms in the back.
Yes. On Friday we were.
Yeah, you were in the private rooms in the back.
You know how me and my crew do it.
Yeah. I was still out in Gen Pop, but
there was no Gen Pop on Friday night. It was all stars. It was VIP. You had to be on a list. But I saw a ton of fighters there.
John Jones.
I saw John Jones. I saw your boy Jamal. I saw a few other people in the house, but. It was just, you know what? It brought me back to the old school days of when it was just fun and not corporate and you could really enjoy yourself. The food was great. The cocktails were phenomenal. The hospitality was amazing. Thank you, Brian Bass. But I had a phenomenal time.
Good. I have to ask one thing I noticed on the way to the studio today. I had to ask both of you guys. Do you guys ever drive with your windows down?
Yes.
Thank you. Is that just like an East Coast thing? Because I swear on the West Coast, I don't know if it's a West Coast thing or we're getting way too, insulary and we only think of ourselves, but everyone drives their windows down. It was 78 and 80 degrees this morning when I was on the road with Jamal, and it's like, what's going on?
It depends on the weather. I mean, listen, if it's 110 degrees and it's windy, it's like stifling yourself in front of a blow dryer. But when it's below 90, especially if my jam comes on, I'm lowering both windows
down.
And I'm putting my AC on a little bit too because I like the best of all worlds. But yeah, I love putting my windows down whenever I get an opportunity to.
I'm sorry, you said best of both worlds, and I immediately start singing R. Kelly.
Yeah.
What about you, George?
I occasionally will roll all my windows down on the freeway.
Yes.
Just to freak people out. I think that's a psycho move.
I'm
just flying past. But I'm talking all windows. Nobody's in the back seat. My windows are down.
That's right. You got to get the good ventilation. I need the cross breeze going.
I do. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I take my hat off and my hair's just
If my lashes can take the velocity,
that is legit though. That is a legit concern. For real, because they turn into butterflies. I swear to God, it's them things are going.
If I arrive someplace with one here,
we know what's up. We know.
And I've had that happen. It's fine.
All right. Well, let's start off with UFC 289. It honestly, for me, it mostly underwhelmed. Like I said, Jamal had his fight party. He was basically the opening act for Flanker, and we had Ode Osborne there. Some of my guys from Mayweather's camp were there as well.
I love Ode.
Ode is still good.
Yeah.
And but like we were all like one of Ode's comments was honestly the first real cheers of the night were the third to last fight. It was a freaking guillotine choke, and that was like the first time the fans really were energized.
I think that was the most exciting moment of the night. I mean, listen, the most emotional moment of the night, I think the most beautiful moment of the night was when Amanda retired at the end of the fight. She put both her belts down and her gloves and kind of paid homage to what it looked like to me was to her whole career right there. That was a beautiful moment. But in terms of excitement, yeah, it was that guillotine hold. It was that the guillotine choke in the third to last fight.
Yep. Yeah. Charles Oliveira also scored a really huge knockout. Ode was like, yeah. Charles gonna lose. Dariush has got him, and I was like, I'm always with my big teeth man. Me and Big Teeth I'm always here with him.
He's Charles Oliveira just has so much respect for everybody in the arena. Like for me, I'm not a fan of it. Like he hugs everybody on the way out. He like hugs his opponent before the fight. I'd be like, mother, if you don't get the fuck away from me.
Why? Why is that? Why don't you like that?
We're about to go to war.
But that's showing respect. You know what? I really was rooting for him, and there was there was a story that I watched right before the fight started, and it was he was fasting. And by the way, I think just that battle to cut weight before the fight is a whole journey in itself, right?
Every single time.
Not only was he fasting, but his parents were fasting with him, and he was like, that's the only part about this that's bothering me. He's like, if it's just me, this is what I do. This is what I've signed up for. But I hate that my parents want to do it with me. And I told them, I don't want them to, but they insisted. So I was rooting for him the whole time.
He's a great dude. Every time I've met him, he's always really, really nice. But I do understand I understand both sides. You want to see good sportsmanship. But at the same time, especially in combat sports,
yeah, dude,
there's a certain vitriol that we gotta have going into this thing.
No, I agree because I don't want to see anybody from the Yankees hugging anybody from the Red Sox. I want to see him beat him with a bat.
But to Georgia, to Rose's point, Amanda, she smiles the whole fight. Like her entire fight,
because she don't feel nothing.
She'd be smiling like she just
I'd be
like
smiling too if I was whooping that ass.
Because she doesn't feel anything. She's not even human. Amanda, I have so much respect for her. She doesn't even feel anything. It's like, what it was? I remember when I was a kid and I got into a fight with one of the neighborhood boys who was and I remember I hit him and he just started laughing. And I feel like with Amanda, she doesn't even feel anything at this point.
That's honestly the scariest thing in the world. You hit somebody and they laugh. It's like, so do I run now?
Or when you get into an argument with your girlfriend, if she starts laughing, abort mission. Just abort mission. Laughing
or clapping. Those are the two. For an ethnic person, if a black woman starts clapping.
Uh-oh. Well, if an ethnic woman gets up from her seat, laughs, and relocates to another location in the house, just pack your stuff. Just
not gonna end well.
No,
not gonna end well at all. But definitely shout out to Amanda Nunes. Great career. Definitely the GOAT of all female fighters.
GOAT.
Not even a question.
Nope.
Before we get off, one thing that did come out after the fight, and I kind of felt it when she, initially made her, double champ forever and all of that. Juliana Pena. Ooh, she is a salty she's a salty girl. And she kind of, but I understood where she was coming from because when Amanda announced her retirement, my first thought was she don't necessarily want to fight Juliana Pena again. But at the same time, because then that's essentially what Juliana Pena said. At the same time, what me and O'Day were talking about after the fight was yeah, but she's also coming off of literally whooping her behind. So, you know what I mean? So it's It's not necessarily I'm
There's
afraid.
There's only one party in there that has anything to prove, and it's not Amanda.
Yeah, she has everything to lose in that situation. You know what I mean? Like
you've already whooped that ass.
Yeah, I don't have to beat you again.
No,
I already beat you.
No.
Yeah. That's that was what we were saying too. You know what I mean? But again, shout out to Amanda Nunes. All right, this next section is for all of you in Vegas that has something to say to me or Ro or George. Well, George is also a VGK fan.
Yeah, I am.
He actually, I'm surprised George doesn't chirp in a little bit more. Like, why don't we talk about NHL more? But
I mean, bro, I know my lane, okay? And I do not want to veer away from it. I still cannot explain to you icing. It just happens. And
icing's the easiest rule in the world.
I know it is. But there's some intricacies. Like, here's the thing. I want to know it to the point where I see it happening.
Well, but see, the NHL also started hybrid icing, and that started probably about a decade ago.
Whoa.
And hybrid, because see, icing, when you know what I mean, when you talk about when I started watching hockey or when Rose started watching hockey, it was always a race to that far inline, and whoever got to that inline first is who was awarded icing or awarded the possession. Now hybrid icing, because of injury and you want to save guys from getting hurt potentially. If basically it's like there's no chance that this other person is going to catch up, they blow the whistle.
Jordan, tell me you know what a power play is, though.
Oh, 100% know what a power play is. And
do you know what an empty net is?
I fuck with penalty kills.
There it is.
I
fuck with, tough defense, baby. The fortress gets loud as shit. Penalty kill.
Well, how about I just destroy the whole set?
The NV Energy power kill.
That's how much you love EGK.
Well, all right. Well, all that being said, the Vegas Golden Knights are one victory away
from Stanley.
From Lord Stanley's Cup. And let's quickly go through the guys that have been making the biggest impression, the biggest impact on the series and on the playoffs as a whole. Jack Eichel has 23 total points, 6 goals, 17 assists in his first playoff run. He hasn't had the goals as say some of the other guys, but he's definitely been I don't know what his plus minus was. I think it was like plus 12. So he's definitely been the guy, and coming from Buffalo, from the Sabres and all that losing, for him to be doing this in his first playoffs is a pretty good thing. Jonathan Marchessault, 13 goals, 11 assists as the elder statesman on the Golden Knights, 32 years old. And then a lot of big games, like in a lot of the big games, he's had multi-goal games. I want to say in the closeout series versus who they played in the last round. Who they play in the last round?
Oilers.
The Oilers.
So really quick, what I want to say about Marchessault is people don't realize he's been on so many teams, and one of the most amazing things about him is like now everybody's like, whenever I see a Golden Knights jersey more often than before Fleury left. Now it's all Marchessault, but he's been on so many teams, and he plays every game, whether it's regular season or postseason hockey, like he could be traded at any minute, and that's heart and that's hunger. And Bruce Cassidy, their manager, their coach, the head coach, actually spoke to that, and so I love his heart.
He's your favorite Golden Knight?
It's a tie between him and Adin Hill. I mean, if I were to have a favorite Golden Knight, so the reason we're laughing is because I've gotten a few
shambles.
Yeah, not shambles. No,
not
shambles
was
when the Lakers lost. No, shambles was when the Giants shit the bed to the Eagles. That was shambles.
No, that's unfair. They were like, we wanted the Giants to win. More just because Lord have mercy.
No, but it wasn't even Eagles fans. It was Cowboys fans. It was I know.
Get out of my DMs.
I know. Just stay out of them. No, but it was. I've gotten more than a handful of messages saying I feel like you guys actively avoid having a VGK conversation, and it's not that we do, but
We don't care.
No, I care. I care. As of October 1st, I cared.
All right, that's fair.
As of October 1st, I cared, and I love what it will do for this city, but I'm a Rangers fan, and Josh is a Capitals fan. So, I mean, listen, we cover all sports, and yes, and see, and that was another point. Well, if you guys cover everything, you're not really covering hometown sports. And to you purists, this is what I would like to ask you. How come we've received 0 messages about UNLV sports and or the Aces? So let's just stay in all our lanes, okay?
And listen, and we will be talking about the Aces as soon as these other series are over, because the WNBA season is still very new.
Yeah, it's still very young. It's not that it's less important. It's very young, and we're in playoff season.
That's right. Listen. When we're in playoff season, we talk about playoffs first and foremost before we start talking about the other things. But I will say, as far as NHL. Look, man, my Caps was trash this year, so I ain't watched that much NHL this year. So I can tell you, of all the Golden Knights minutes that I've watched this year, I've probably maybe watched 4 hours total.
No, listen, I'm happy for the Knights. I mean, I would love. So here's the thing that Josh and I have both said. The Knights could be possibly the greatest expansion team of all time.
Oh, they're not a question. Yeah, for sure.
They're and so I'd say the devil's advocate would say, well, for any hockey expansion team, you basically cherry pick your players. Okay, but so has every other expansion team, and they didn't make it to the Stanley Cup Finals of their first year.
I will say the Aces could rival it. If the Aces go back to back.
Well, no, but remember, the Aces aren't an expansion. They're part of the original. They were the San Antonio Stars, and they moved. They moved here.
I mean, yeah. I know it's not expansion team, but similar principle.
I know what you're saying, but you know what, George, you're right. If they go back to back,
yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is.
That's nuts.
No, it is. I mean, especially with Becky Hammond at the helm. I mean, it would be like. If they keep doing what they're doing, I see where you're coming from, and I don't disagree. But in terms of a men's professional sport, I think VGK has the potential to become the greatest expansion team ever.
Yeah,
I mean, so far.
Well, I mean, listen, with or without them getting this done, they've already. No one even is close.
Yeah, but it cements it. If they win Stanley, it's a wrap.
I mean, shoot. The only other the Carolina Panthers, the Jacksonville Jaguars, when they first started, going to the conference championship their second year, those are the only two that I really think about. Like, if you really think about expansion teams, whether it's the Raptors, the Grizzlies, all of those teams were like wasting away for about 5 to 6 years. VGK was in the Stanley Cup title game year one, and then but then after that They've been back knocking twice. They've been knocking at the door. They've only missed the playoffs.
Is this year 6?
Yeah.
So year 6 now. You're content.
2 times.
You're 2 times, and there's a really good chance. You're up 3-1.
Yeah.
There's a very good likelihood that you are going to win the Stanley Cup. I mean, I'm not wishing, but I'm saying like odds are, you're looking pretty good now.
Yeah. That's a good segue. Can Florida come back?
Yeah, they're hungry.
God, I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, like truthfully speaking, we've blown it before. Like versus the San Jose Sharks, I think it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Remember, we got like 2 major penalties or something. Like we had 4 goals scored on us in the third period.
Yes, versus the Sharks.
Yep,
yes.
And then they came back. So like in hockey, out of all sports, there is no effing around.
No.
It's the one sport that I would say like there's no possession you can take off. Like basketball, you can, a couple here
coast.
And there.
You can coast.
You can come back with some threes. Hockey, no way, Jose.
There aren't tougher people on this planet than hockey players. With football, with the rules changing year after year after year, you have these dudes that beat the shit out of each other with their hockey stick. I mean, and literally like purposely trip each other with blades on their feet. You can mortally wound somebody.
Legit.
And they just let them have it out. They just fight it out and they're back skate. Okay, they take a penalty. The other team has a power play. And then he's back out on the ice. I mean, I love that. I do. I love that. The heathen in me loves it. But I have an issue with the whole Panthers, like their fandom thing. Cats throw rats, and they have these like rubber rats that they throw out. And I'm
no. So that started like 3 seasons ago, and it was
but it's still gross.
Well, they're plastic rats.
I don't care. I hate vermin. The rodentia.
Oh my god. Well, it started similar as VJK with the no one wanted us.
I know that.
It's
just because it's rats.
It's just because it's rats.
Yeah.
You just don't like it because it's
at all.
So
nobody from the East Coast likes a fucking rat in any form.
In Detroit, when they throw out the octopus on the
different.
ice, that still.
I eat octopus when I go out to dinner. I mean, that's different. I'm not eating no rat.
All right, calamari. Look, the keys for the Panthers to come back. It starts and ends with Matthew Tkachuk being healthy. This time of year, no one in hockey is healthy, but he's hurt and he had to sit out the end of that last game. And then Carter Verhaeghe, he's been a huge player in terms of big moments. He did it last year versus my team. Had like a hat trick, and that was what knocked us out. If he does well, those two players have to play well. They have to perform. They have to play well for them to have a chance.
Well, and another thing, the Panthers are getting in trouble by their own hand with those penalties. I mean,
can't do it.
You can't. But in the mistakes that are made that are causing their coaches to fight over them are so slight. But in that same breath, I'd say, don't make those fucking mistakes then. You can't, and it's easy for me to say because I'm not a hockey player, okay? But at this point in the game, you can't be sloppy. It's their penalties that have cost them the first 2 games at least. And then also the number of shots taken. You just got to take those fucking shots.
Yeah, no, you have to. You definitely have to get this time of year. You just have to get pucks on net. Pretty goals aren't the ones that win games.
Nope.
This time of year, it's usually the gritty, the ugly goals, the deflections. That's usually what wins. And once you get into May,
and stay in the circle. If it's deflected, keep hitting it. Get your boys around. Get that circle formed really quickly.
Have to get bodies on net for sure. Well, all right. Well, let's that's enough hockey. Let's go ahead and move.
Go Rangers.
Go Caps. Go. Let's go ahead and move on to the PGA Tour, the Live Golf situation.
I've never seen white people so mad.
Oh,
they mad.
Yeah, they're big mad. Live Golf and the PGA Tour have come to an agreement to merge. And I'll tell you, if you don't know what this deal looks like, trust me, it takes about a lot of Googling. You have to Google a certain way to even get the right article up because everybody's just talking about how mad they are.
But in a nutshell, I mean, so there's 3 golf associations that are for profit. Originally, it was the PGA that was headed by
Jay.
Norman.
No. That's Live Golf. Live Golf.
No. Oh yeah, now it's Live Golf. That's right.
Live Golf is headed by Greg Norman.
Yeah.
The PGA Tour
and then DP.
Yes, and I wasn't even really aware of them like that.
So there was originally 1, then 2 is PGA, then DP, and then Live formed. Live was actually put together as a huge entity that was funded by the Saudi Public Investment Fund, okay? So the money is unlimited. And so basically they wanted to start their own for-profit golf association to compete with PGA and DP, okay? And so they attempted to lure a lot of players. You had a handful of very high-profile golfers go over to Live with huge paychecks. Tiger Woods was offered $800 million.
$800 million and turned it down. Rory McIlroy was offered like $500 million and he turned it down. You know what I mean? And so now the biggest issue has been, from the PGA players, like, oh, well, now we're looking like hypocrites because we're going to team up with this.
Let's take a couple steps back. The whole resistance to Live that a lot of players had was they had a huge issue with the Saudi government via the Public Investment Fund funding this association because of what they've deemed, and we are not advocating our political stances in any way because this is not the show for it. We're just saying the reason that a lot of players had an issue with it is because they felt that the Saudis had a huge hand in 9/11 and they just felt like out of humanity and just basic morality, no amount of money would make them go over, okay? And so you had this huge resistance really led by Rory McIlroy, okay? And so by the way, so the PGA and LIV decided to sue each other. So they've been in expensive litigation. Basically, it's turned into it was the WWE. You had golfers from all associations having words for the others, okay? And then all of the sudden, they decide to merge with none of the players knowing about it. Rory McIlroy claims that he had heard like rumblings about it, but most of the players, actually almost all the players, golfers from all the associations found out via Twitter. So now they're like, wait, what? So now, because a lot of the players that left the PGA that were part of the litigation with LIV against the PGA are now expected, like the PGA players are like, no, now you just can't come back. No, it can't be that easy for you. So there's just a whole thing, but the players were caught completely blindsided.
1,000%. Go ahead, George.
They hung over that you weren't allowed to play in any majors.
Yeah.
And then they lifted that, right? Which was, I think that's when Rory kind of knew, like, fuck, like this is definitely not as serious as what they first let on. And I mean, go ahead, Josh.
Well, I mean, but they never should have done that to begin with.
100%.
Like that was so
childish.
Yeah, that was petty. And especially as Rose said, these were some of the best players in the world. It's Rory McIlroy, Brooks Koepka.
Yep.
What's his name? Bryson DeChambeau. Like it was a lot of stars. They did take some star power away from the PGA Tour, and so for the PGA Tour to turn their backs on these players just because they went and honestly, a lot of them went and got the best deals they could for their families.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Some of these lower tier guys getting $40-50 million to come over. Come on, man. Come on. Like, listen, and one of the things I wanted to talk about is just, can we keep politics out of sports? I know that raises a bigger question. When we talk about Black Lives Matter, when we talk about, kneeling for the anthem and those things. But when it gets to, the money, none of those things had to deal with money outside of Colin Kaepernick losing his contract. When it gets to the money, stop trying to put, your feelings on another person. If someone comes up to you and says, hey, Ro, for you to do the exact same thing that you're doing right now, I'm going to pay you 75 times more than you're getting paid right now.
How many pens you got?
Thank you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, serious. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my thing.
And then they hit him with the guilt trip. But like, but those people were the main cause of one of the greatest American catastrophes. So, but make 75 times more, but just remember that.
Yeah.
Well, and that's all. Listen, I mean, God, this will not get into a show about conspiracy theories, but watch Loose Change. But if that is your moral belief, and by the way, they've all got money. I mean, not Tiger Woods money, not $800 million.
But see what I'm saying? Like those lower tier guys, $50 million. Come on, man. I'm making, maybe $1 million, $2 million a year, which is, listen, that's great money. And we all can attest that that's great money. But if someone's like, here's $50 million and you're already 35, I'm never going to make that amount.
Yeah.
Like ever. So for me to do the exact same job I was already doing, you gonna pay me $50 million? Yeah, I think I'm gonna sign up, dog.
Yeah, I mean, last thing I'll say, all money is dirty. Like, in some way, shape, or form, I guarantee you the PGA's done some pretty crooked shit too. So, like, you're going to take money from them? I mean, I don't know any of the deets. But
I guarantee you, after the conversation, with Sonny Vaccaro, with the NCAA, if we're going to talk about it, I think, I'd bet the whole farm on that every organization, sports-related organization, has done some things they're not proud of.
100%.
Don't throw stones in a glass house. Moving on, we're going to move on to the French Open. The French Open finished this weekend.
Yep.
Novak Djokovic has eclipsed.
He beat your Rafa.
He's eclipsed Rafa Nadal and Rodger Federer after winning his 23rd major. Does this make him the GOAT?
Yes.
God,
it does.
Dang it.
Yeah.
It does.
I mean, that's just championships, bro. It's numbers.
I'm two against
That's
two
quick
against
math.
one. I hate you both.
You listen, keep that same MJ energy. Keep that same energy across every sport, my guy.
Well, what you mean? I mean, if it's
a numbers thing,
it's
then
Bill Russell. If it's a numbers thing.
But you said MJ's a goat. I say Bill Russell's a goat. Neither did you. Keep that same energy, my guy. Yeah, Djokovic is a goat.
We hate Novak. Like, congrats, Novak Djokovic. I know you take this hate as fuel and energy to continue to win, but he's been healthy. Rafa and Rodger broke down because they were killing each other to win.
Hey,
Novak slid
is
through
it
the back.
MJ's fault that Kevin McHale was out for a while? Is it MJ's fault
Bird's back gave out? It is what it is.
Exactly. Is that MJ's fault?
It's tough to beat people. Like, I'm thinking about Bill Russell championship days, the cigar smoke, and it was 1,000 degrees in that arena.
Henny during the quarter break.
Yeah, I was going to say, though, hey, Federer on grass, though? Federer versus Djokovic on grass? I think we got a chance.
Well,
I know nothing about tennis. I'm just throwing hypotheticals.
So
that's a good hypothetical.
Prime, no, not at all. Federer in his prime at Wimbledon was its own problem. My biggest problem, and the reason I didn't really care for Rodger Federer until much older, was like he would win every tournament and then like weep like he never won. And it was like, boy, get up. Like, it was 6-love, 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 and fall to the ground. I'm like, bro. Like, we get it. You're the best out here. Like, Andy Roddick is out here killing himself. And, like he can't get a win.
All I gotta say is Andre Agassi played with a mullet that always stayed in place.
I loved Andre. Andre was my favorite.
God, I loved Andre Agassi.
Did you like Pete Sampras? Were you a Pete?
Yeah, I was.
See, I never cared for Pete Sampras.
I like Pete Sampras. I did. I like that they all had their own, because right now, not for anything, I love that they all had their own personalities.
Without Jim Courier.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was definitely a different time, especially from American tennis, and that's getting into a bigger conversation.
I think it's the women now that are very that showcase their personality, and they're more than the men do. I think women's tennis now is equivalent to men's professional tennis in the 80s in terms of personalities.
Well, and also depth.
Yeah.
The depth of personality.
I agree.
And the different kind of women and all, 100%. But switching over to the female winner, EeeGa ShhvonTEK wins her third French Open and her fourth overall. She's 23 years old. I think she's going to be the new face of female tennis.
I think it's her or Coco Gauff.
Coco got to win.
She has to win. But what I'm saying is I think that they are both equally talented. However, if we're counting wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but 23, I think Coco's like 19 now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
She's still a baby. So she's still, listen, Coco Gauff has plenty of time, but she does need to get one for her, I think, for her psyche. To start to say, I can do it.
She absolutely has to,
You know what I mean? Because she's been to some finals now and she's lost. And then, she's been kind of a front runner and then, take an early loss. So she has to develop a little bit more of a killer instinct. But EeeGa's Bakery, I think, is the best, tennis nickname now because she was having all these bagels. She was serving bagels and donuts. And so online, people started calling it EeeGa's Bakery. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay.
Not a fan of EeeGa's Bakery. It's a little shady. It's a little shady.
It's a little shady.
She's Polish. You know what I mean? It's bagels.
Bagels aren't Polish. Though.
It's not a Polish. It's not. There's not a Polish bagel, George.
Pierogies.
Yeah.
A better example there.
Yeah, pierogies.
Cameron's Polish. That's the only way I know this shit, bro.
Moving on.
It was the way you deadpanned it, though. That a little bit better of an example. Moving on to the NBA. All right. So,
oh, boy.
We've got some time on the NBA. The Denver Nuggets have a chance to make history.
Who am I? Real quick.
Okay.
Georgie. Josh, who am I?
Eric Spoelstra.
No. Kendrick Perkins.
Oh, see.
Well, I don't.
See, I gotta know. You're an ESPN lover.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You're like, you got them ESPN personalities down. But
I love it. I love it.
He is a heavy breathing son of a bitch. You're not the first person.
Well, Stephen A. the other day, he's like, whoa. He's like, what is that I hear? He's like, brother, do you have sleep apnea? What's going on?
My God. He got to breathe through that beard, man. My man got to take bigger gasps of air.
How did he ever pass a cardio test?
Listen, Kendrick Perkins, he got to the league.
Back in the day, Kendrick Perkins was a beast when he played for the Celtics. Are you kidding?
He was a tough guy.
Hey, I was just asking about the conditioning test. That was a rough day for my boy. He was struggling.
I think his conditioning test, I think his physical was different. They just gave him a hula hoop and said, go 4 seconds.
He was bigger. He was bigger. I mean, he was definitely in solid shape in Boston, though. In Boston, he was still a skinny dude. He wasn't that big.
Well, no, I mean, skinny for Kendrick Perkins.
Fair. Fair.
He's how tall?
Kendrick's like 7 feet.
Yeah, and he's like, I think like now 350, but
easily 350. Yeah,
so
for
okay.
Sure 350.
But anyway, so yeah, let's go on.
Denver has a chance to make history tonight, up 3-1, back in Denver, in the Mile High City. Do they get it done tonight, Ro?
God, I hope not. I still have the Heat in 7. I'm just very, very. I'm still looking for playoff Jimmy. So. Yeah. So, Bam has actually been stepping up more than Jimmy has, and carrying more weight. I haven't seen playoff Jimmy yet. I haven't seen the playoff Jimmy that beat the Knicks, that beat the Celtics, that beat the Bucks, right? So listen, I want them to win. I'm not saying that I'm losing faith, but I'm losing faith a little bit because where's the heart? They're not getting demolished, kind of ish. But listen, I'm going to say this. I wouldn't be mad if Jokic won. And first of all, I will say now, hindsight is 2020. I do think he should have gotten MVP, but I mean, he had it 2 years in a row prior. But seeing how he's playing, we've never, ever, for the youngins, we've never seen a player do what he's doing in terms of triple doubles in the finals. It is a feat because playoff basketball, especially finals basketball, is a very, very different ball game than highest level. And he's so respectful, and he is such a nice guy. And in every interview, he is always giving the Heat their respect. So you can't hate that team. You can't hate what they've accomplished. They've got their bench would murks everybody. Their discipline, the way they play is consistent. Their coaching is on, man. I will tell you the only lapses that I've seen just slightly is when it came to defense, and that's the one game that the Heat won. I think the Heat still has a chance. It's looking pretty bleak. Come on, Jimmy, just make it a game. You can't lose 2 in Miami, my guy. I think you have it in you, but right now their confidence is also shot, and they're going back to Denver. They have to play in that altitude. I don't know. I don't know that it's looking that great. I would love to,
Yeah, George, what do you think?
I've never seen a team work so hard in my life.
Talking about Denver?
No, I'm talking about the Heat.
Oh, okay.
The Heat are working insanely hard, and they just can't keep up, bro. And they've gotten lucky, out shooting the hell out of everybody they've played up to this point, the Celtics, the Bucks. The shots don't fall, and, their defense, rightfully so, dominated the Bucks and dominated the Celtics. And this series, it has been non-existent. I think the one thing that I'm most surprised at that the Heat were really good at early on in the season, or in the playoffs too, was rebounding. And they are getting demolished on the boards. I don't see a way in which the Nuggets can have a lapse of multiple quarters, which is what it's going to take. Like the Nuggets laps are like 4 minutes, bro.
Yeah,
and then they're like back to 100% efficiency.
And to what George said, do you remember what Pat Riley's whole thing was? Rebounds gets rings.
That's crazy. That's
I mean, well, listen,
they're trying, but it's
your only big is Bam Adebayo.
Yeah.
And
Kevin Love, you know what I mean? Kevin Love he's done well, but he's no longer an inside presence. And when you're getting demolished inside on the other side, whether it's from Aaron Gordon because of the length and the size, they don't have anybody to match up with him. And then, obviously Djokovic is having at least 10 layups a game. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, really quick sports trivia history. Did you know that Pat Riley? Well, I have actually one comment and one trivia question for you guys, and you can't Google it. Did you know, because I just found this out, that Pat Riley was also an All-American in football. He was a quarterback that was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys.
Baseball, too. He was drafted in baseball as well.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, no, and then Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge, same thing. I didn't realize that about Danny Ainge.
Oh no.
Danny Ainge was like all-world baseball.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he decided to play basketball, but he was drafted first round in baseball.
Okay, here's a question.
Yeah.
Here's a trivia question. How many NBA final appearances has Pat Riley made? And this is as a player, executive, and in front office.
As a player too. Well, I saw the stat where he's been involved in like 23% of all the NBA finals. So, and that's in 75 years.
Give it a guess.
He's been in like 22, I think.
19.
Yeah.
Close.
Yeah,
that's mind blowing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about it. Like he was on the Lakers.
Yep.
And I think went to 2 or 3. And then he coached the Lakers in 7 or 8 in the finals?
8.
8?
Yeah.
Made a finals with the Knicks.
Yeah, well, he was technically front office too then.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, but 94. So 94 made the finals versus the Rockets. Wins a finals in 06 with Miami. And then 4 with LeBron and 2 now. That's 6. Yeah, it's
that's impressive.
3 different organizations too.
I just want to know when Winning Time is coming back on.
Jesus.
Oh.
I swear we will. The second we find that out, we will have a show devoted to that.
I like that.
I don't think that. Idea. Yeah, can we please have like a watch party? Because I don't think that I've been so vested in a new season in anything since either Ozarks or Sopranos.
Power. I'm still the same way every time. Like, when's the next one coming?
Oh, and P-Valley. Oh, P-Valley is so good.
You some P-Valley.
It's that good.
I really have to watch
everybody I tell that to, they roll their eyes, but when they watch it, how's about everybody that I've mentioned it to, they ended up watching the first season 3 times because they were all waiting for the second.
Really?
It's that good.
I've dated too many strippers in my life. I'm not trying to have flashbacks.
Oh, here we go.
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah, and I get in trouble, right?
Well, I mean, as I said, I dated. Anyway, what has happened in the Heat this series? Do you guys think? I mean, for me, I'll start as far as for me. To Rose's point, Jimmy Butler has not had that Jimmy Butler game. I think he does have that tonight. For them to have any chance, this is not a game where Jimmy Butler is going to spend 5, 6, 7 minutes on the bench. Like, he needs to play all 48, whether it's elevation or not. He's got to drop 40 for them. Back to George's point as far as the inside game, Bam Adebayo, he's played well to Rose's point, but he's still, I swear to God, if he misses more layups than any big I've ever seen in my freaking life, bro.
No touch.
Like, and then see the difference between him and Jokic. Jokic might miss a layup, but then he's getting another 2-3 rebounds to get other chances at it. Now, whether he misses it ultimately, he still gave you like 3 shots at a layup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wait a second. And the Heat are taking, they'll get those offensive rebounds and not make 5 of them.
Yeah.
And it's
or pass out to a 3 and it's like, you're at the basket.
But
why are we dumping it out?
Last game 5 attempts. It was in the 3rd quarter. So you managed to get 5 offensive rebounds and you made 0?
0 points. 0 points. So what do you think? What do you think went wrong?
I think that what they're missing are rotational players like the Lakers had, like an Austin Reeves, like a Rui Hachimura,
Victor Oladipo, and Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero, I'm also putting this daggone series squarely on you, bro, because We saw you shooting around in the Boston Celtics series.
My God.
And it's like, bro, it is the daggone finals.
But you know what he's saying now? This is the part that's fucking pissing me off. Excuse my own language. I'm trying to curse less. But so he said, okay, so initially it was he should be good to go for the finals. So game 2 of the finals, it was because they're like, no, game 2. He's ready to go. Then it was, oh, he still has some swelling in his hand. He doesn't feel comfortable. Then it was, he doesn't want to ruin the team's chemistry. My guy, what chemistry? I swear to God, this is what I hear. What chemistry?
We need you.
Like, we need you. Where are you? Where are you?
Yeah.
So you are the Rui Hachimura, and then you have
Oladipo. Yeah.
So we need you. There is no chemistry right now. It's like Jimmy is trying to hold it together with Eric,
with a band of brothers.
Really, and then you have Eric Spoelstra. I feel like his eyes are gonna pop out of his head. I mean, I feel like the black hair dye is gonna start running down his forehead at any minute. Like,
wait, before I go to George, did you see the
I
the
sent
post?
it to you.
Wait, the Affion Crockett?
The Affion Crockett.
You sent that?
I sent it to you.
Did I find that on my own? Or did you? I don't know where I be finding stuff sometimes.
Oh my God. I'm going to punch you. I sent it to you.
George, did you see it?
No.
Where Affion Crockett was Eric Spoelstra?
Hold on, I'm going to send it to you, Georgie.
Send it in the group chat.
It's too funny. It is too funny.
It is spot on.
First,
too.
because he does look like him, which is scary in itself. but the looks, the dumbfounded looks are just too good out of that. George, I know you're clicking away over there. What do you think has gone wrong for the Heat in this series?
I mean, I highlighted the rebounding earlier. Jimmy Butler's lack of confidence is kind of disgusting at times. He's like one person that wears his emotions so heavy on his face. Like in the Boston series, I was scared of him, and I was 2,000 miles away from this man watching the game. I was like, damn, I would probably not want to fuck around with him. But on this series, he looks timid, just like so not confident in himself. What's gone wrong is that they really have not been tough on Tyler here. Like it is blowing my mind. I didn't hear the whole report that he said they would.
Yeah, I didn't hear that either. That was news to me.
Bust
as well.
out like team chemistry, but it's like, whoa.
I was so pissed off.
Like how do you think that makes Kevin Love feel, man? This dude's ancient. All right, he needs minutes on the bench and have you come and suffice a little 3-point shooting. I think it's more so like that the Nuggets just haven't let off the gas at all. Yeah. Like I heard reports from Brian Windhorst on a podcast I was listening to. He said that when they flew down to Miami, they had like an extra long film session. And he's like, the reports from the film session was like, yeah, no, Mike Malone like pretty much ripped into him like it was the start of the season and they just ruined everything, right? And I think that's what works for that team. They're not experienced enough to know that this is the way we have to act in a championship. So this time, their first time around, Mike Malone is 100% riding their ass. He's losing his voice before the game even starts because he knows how serious it is. Now, I think his tone of voice will change probably in 3 years when they have made their third straight NBA Finals.
We'll definitely talk about that in a minute.
I think that
I sent it in the group text, but in the group DM chat. I'll resend it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's not what the Heat haven't done. It's the Heat aren't capable of that.
Well, how are you?
And I think they've played hard. That's what I'm trying to get to. Like I've seen them walk into the locker room, right, and just exhausted. Like I've never seen a team more tired in my life. It's like 10 Dellavedovas after game 2 in the 2016 finals. Like 100%. They're just winded, bro.
That's interesting. What you got, Ro?
No, I'm trying to pull up the exact quote from Tyler Hero, but I was going to say, like, how do you expect Jimmy Butler to have confidence when you have a bench that can outscore your entire team without even really giving it a go? And it just came down to skill set.
I mean, well, to that point too, their bench, his starters are really his bench guys right now. You know, Caleb Martin and Gabe Vincent. Those are all guys that are really supposed to be on the bench. So imagine putting those guys back in their real role of like, hey, come in the game, get hot, make some good shots for us, and then move it along. You know, it's an interesting thing. I see George has the clip.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead, George.
Did you guys remember that Tyler Hero didn't play last year too in the finals, like because of a groin injury?
You mean in 2020?
Last year.
Not in the finals though.
No, in the playoffs.
In the playoffs. Oh, okay.
Against the Celtics. Like, so I feel like it's always something with him. Okay, look at this.
Eric Spoelstra.
That half smile, bro.
The hair, the eyes.
Oh my God! It was the swoop in from the sidelines. I'm excited. Yes.
I love Avion Crockett.
Shout out to Avion Crockett. He's still getting it done. Well, okay. So before we get off of it, yes or no, Nuggets end it tonight?
No.
Okay. Yes or no, Nuggets end it tonight?
Yes. It's going to be close, though.
Okay.
Like, this is a buzzer beater to win the NBA Finals type close.
That would.
Thank you. Please give it to me. That's just as a sports fan. I want to see that shit.
Does VGK close it out tonight?
Tomorrow.
Well, okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Go Knights, go, baby. Go Knights, go. I have a question for you two just in regards to that situation. Because have you been in a city in which they've won a championship? Like,
yes, I was in Wrigleyville when the Cubs won.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, seriously. I went home when the Caps won Game 5 because I was home in case they made it to Game 6, and then I'd go home, go to the game. I'd find a way to finagle my way in the game. But we won in Game 5, so I was in D.C. At the arena. I was inside the arena when we won.
Gotcha. So watching the...
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What is your recommendation for me? Because it's like Cameron's family invited us over. We've been watching all the games with her, but I almost feel like I want to go...
Toshiba Plaza.
Okay. Thank you for solidifying.
Absolutely. Go to the beer garden place.
Yeah.
Go there because they have those like big like tables. And shit, I might join you guys. I mean, I'll go.
The energy. You know, when you're there,
there'll be nothing like it. Like, listen, I'm a Yankees fan, but I was engaged to somebody that is a guy from Chicago. But his family diehard Cubs fans. I was in Wrigleyville when the Cubs won.
That's crazy.
There was nothing like it. They tried to get me to put a Cubs jersey on.
As they should.
I'm like, no.
Today is just for today. You're a Cub fan.
Why don't you put on a VGK jersey just for tomorrow?
No, I'll have on my Caps jersey, and that starts its own fights. So,
all right, so hush.
Well, no, but I mean that's the Yankees. You're not like we don't dislike the Yankees. We don't have. You guys, Babe Ruth had the.
You are so selective in your goatdom with this, with that. You know what? Stop it.
What you mean? What you mean?
With
like
Djokovic, he's not the. So if numbers make you the GOAT, well, we're not going to get into that. Then you're like, Bill Russell. Then you know what, Josh? I've had enough today.
Wait. No. We go plug this.
This is first take. Come on. Give me your best first take.
No, so I said I wouldn't wear a Cubs jersey. Listen, I am.
It's 108 years.
I don't care.
We could all be Cubs fans for one day.
No.
It was 108 years. You don't got no beef with the Cubs.
Hell to the no.
Oh man, you don't got no beef with the Cubs.
I don't have beef with the Cubs. I'm just saying I won't put another team's jersey on me.
Oh, okay. Well, as a person that puts on everybody's jersey, I guess I'm a little different. That's fair. There's only certain people I will not wear their jersey. But okay. I guess I'm weird with that because I do wear like everybody's jersey. So
no, you wear jerseys of great players. It's not like you have like an allegiance or shifting your allegiance. I understand that.
Yeah.
I am not that evolved. Okay. I've only had 2 jerseys that are from teams that I am not a fan of. Can you guess who they are?
Well, you already told me it was AI. I know you have an AI.
Allen Iverson.
I can't remember the other one. Who's the other one?
Yeah, you did. You got to think about it.
You had a red colored shirt for Tiger Woods.
Negative.
No. Sabertooth Tiger Woods. She does.
Sabertooth Tiger Woods.
Tiger. Hey, that shit was a button down.
I had the concert tee for Sabertooth Tiger. It was a flannel.
Oh my God. What's the other jersey? What's the other one?
Can I just give you a hint?
Okay, go ahead.
It's a football team. It's a football player.
Not Barry.
No,
not Barry.
He's a quarterback.
Joe Montana.
Yes.
Okay.
Those are the two non.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Well, actually, and I have a Mark Bavaro jersey that's signed, courtesy.
Well, that's a giant. That's
Yeah, I know, but I mean, what I'm saying is like that I don't wear. But anyways, two teams that aren't mine. But I would never put another team's jersey on my body. Nah.
Fair enough.
That's
fair enough. I think the Heat win one more, and if they're able to win tonight, all bets are off, because then it's like you gonna give up 3 games at home in the finals. So I think Jimmy Butler, goes off tonight. I think he comes out very aggressive, and they win a 5-point game tonight.
Here's my last little Heat take. Kyle Lowry. Can we act like we've been to an NBA Finals before, bro?
Please.
Wake up. Wake up, Kyle Lowry.
Kyle Lowry old, man. He got old knees, dog.
Got K-Love and Kyle Lowry out there.
My man's like, it's June. Like, we ain't supposed to still be playing what you want from me.
Hey, where's Kawhi?
Right? Yeah, exactly. Kyle Lowry.
He walked past Jimmy Butler. He's like, Kawhi would never do that shit.
Wait. One basketball question for the both of you guys.
Okay.
If Dame leaves Portland, where would you like to see him go?
Like to see him go, it would be either Miami or New York.
Georgie.
I want to see him play with Golden State. Like, I want to solidify what could
Oakland.
be the greatest shooting. Yeah, it's that.
He's from there. Remember, he's from Oakland, so
I want to see it.
I think Dame single-handedly makes the Knicks a force to be reckoned with.
Yes. No, 1,000. I mean, he gives them. They need that one more person. I actually want Jaylen Brown to go to the Knicks.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
I know you don't, but I mean, that would, because they need that one more scorer. If they have one more wing scorer, I think that really does start to.
It would allow Julius Randle to actually play the position he's meant to play.
Julius Randle is
play
awful.
A power forward.
Can we just admit that he is not good?
He's not good at the position he's playing right now.
That man,
which
He's
is like a
not
LeBron
good.
hybrid.
He is not good. What's my famous saying, Josh?
I don't know, but
The
Julius Randle was
playoffs expose the frauds.
Yeah, well, yes, but during the regular season, he was all NBA.
It doesn't matter.
So, well, all right. Well, let's.
Well, wait, is LeBron retiring?
No, we already said no.
Hell no.
We've addressed that.
He will have the biggest retirement tour.
Oh my God.
People are going to be giving him cars and shit.
LeBron literally will retire in August, so he can start getting retirement stuff in the preseason.
Yep,
that's LeBron.
He will do it one day longer than Paul Pierce's fucking retirement tour, which lasted an entire season.
Oh my God, you thought you was gonna get the Kobe love? Anyway, before we get out, I just want to talk about next season for both of these teams. The Nuggets are running it back with their entire top 6.
Yep.
Jokic, Murray, Gordon, Porter, KCP, and Brown all are under contract. And the Heat actually have a good chunk of their core as well. Miami has Jimmy Butler, Bam, Kyle Lowry, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Victor Oladipo, and Caleb Martin all under contract. They do have to figure out what they're going to do with Strus and Gabe Vincent. I guess one question to leave on, when you ask about Dame Lillard, Kyle Lowry's making $30 million next year.
You get rid of Kyle Lowry, and you get rid of Tyler Hero. Second playoffs now, not the finals last time, that you are MIA when your team needs you the fucking most. You get rid of both of them.
That's interesting. George, what you got as far as Kyle Lowry?
Yeah, no, I think that might be it for him. Yeah, I mean, I know he made the bag, but it has slowed down. Like, his game is tremendously slowed down. He's got to get going.
Yeah.
Let's find a way to get Dame there.
For me, $30 million and you're coming off the bench is not. We can't that can't sustain itself.
You can't pay that much for a rotational player at this
point. No, and not an old one at that.
No, not old. His knees old, dog.
His knees is old, dog. I promise. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the American Fan 365. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe. Please make sure if you have any friends that want to sponsor the show, you can put your logo right over here or maybe right there.
Or you could be a featured guest and talk about any service that you provide or a product that you have. And it would be even more awesome if you were a sports fan. And
it would be helpful.
And you had something that you wanted to talk about or you wanted to get off your chest and you wanted to say it out. Let's go. We'd love to have you.
Yes, ma'am. So from Josh Williams, front row.
And Georgie.
And George in the back. Thank you guys again. See you next time.
Later, people.
Bye.
Fan, short for fanatic, is the one who's screaming their lungs out in sub-zero degree temperatures, still believing when the chips are down, and never, ever giving up on their teams or their players. From the closest seat to the worst one, we want to meet you all. This is the American